This is meteorologist Mark Molnar. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern and Hurricane Eastern. I appreciate all of you for tuning in and following me. Don't forget, Sam has been with us for a long time and will continue to be with us for quite a while. Just how much longer? What will the factors affecting Sam? Will Sam have any impacts on North America or the U.S. East Coast or Southeast Canada? And newly formed tropical storm Victor. I'll show you where that storm's heading. I'll run down through all the model data for you and show where I think these systems will be heading. And if there's anything else in the tropics, we'll explore that as well. Also, don't forget, we are heading closer to the colder season. I am working on my winter weather 2021-22 outlook, so watch out for that shortly. And I'll break down and see if there's any cold waves coming over the next 7 to 10 days across North America. I know a lot of you are probably wondering, well, when's our first frost or freeze? It seems kind of late for many of you. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button so you're alerted when I come up with one of these videos. Smash the like button, gets the video more exposure. And question or comment down below. Don't forget, there is timestamps down below, so if you wish to skip ahead, I will not be offended. Let's get right on into it. And taking a look at Sam here, Sam should continue its way towards the northwest and eventually the north, just hooking before it reaches Bermuda just to the east. Should impact Bermuda with tropical storm force conditions this weekend. Lots of high surf along the U.S. East Coast as well as Southeast Canada. So lots and lots of wave action going on with the system. This is a massive system. And it doesn't expect to really, as it starts its extratropical characteristics off the southeast coast of Canada, this system will maintain major hurricane status well beyond Bermuda here. So this is going to be a big, strong storm here. Lots and lots of wave action. Going to be the biggest player out here in the Atlantic the next several days. And here we go with the rest of the tropics. It's basically Sam and Victor stealing the big fanfare, the big show here. As you can see, Sam will continue to maintain its very strong status, continuing to grow in size. It will affect Bermuda with some tropical storm force winds. I'll show you in the models just how close it will get to Bermuda. I think it'll be close, but not enough to get it to major hurricane in parts of Bermuda. But then there's no question that this trough along the North American coast will kick Sam out and recurve it out into the open Atlantic and become extratropical, becoming a major storm, a major player in the North Atlantic. And then Victor, this high pressure around the Azores will retreat to the east and allow Victor to find a weakness in the subtropical ridge and recurve around the high pressure system. So that's what we're looking at here, a lot of recurvatures. There's no other systems on the Atlantic to really talk about at the moment. And take a look at Major Hurricane Sam. This system has a lot going for it. It's maintaining its Category 4 intensity for quite a while here, and it is very symmetrical. You see a lot of good venting on all quadrants of this system. Look at those spiraling clouds. This is a perfect structure of an eye here. Looking really good, and it's not looking ragged as of yet. No wind shear to be had. And we're taking a look at the Gulf of Mexico here. Lots of showers and thunderstorms on the western Gulf. Nothing persisting, though, enough to be of any major interest for any tropical development. But across much of the Gulf, for that matter, looking clear as a bell here, so not much to talk about. We head off to the rest of the Atlantic. There is Sam. That's the big fanfare here in the Atlantic. And look at that big feature. That there is Victor. Do we have anything else to really talk about? Well, we will watch this system here. I don't see any major development, in the next, say, 5 days or so, but we'll watch this system. It looks pretty impressive coming off Africa here. But for that matter, it's basically Sam and Victor. All right, let's take a look at the tropical Atlantic here. We'll take a look at Sam and Victor and see if there's anything else out there. We'll start off here with the GFS, taking a look at Sam just north of the Leeward Islands here, and then you have Victor out here just south of the Cape Verde Islands. We put this into motion for the GFS towards the weekend, middle part of the weekend. We get into Sam just east of Bermuda right here, so impacts will be tropical storm definitely across Bermuda. Here is Victor. Being steered so far due west. There's the high pressures. And we spin this into later Monday, getting caught up in there. That trough across the east coast starting to really kick in. Taking Sam off to the northeast here and Victor to the north as high pressure retreats along the Azores here. And then by Tuesday and Wednesday next week, Sam becoming a major extratropical system out here. And Victor kind of getting spun up here in the wake of Sam. So that progresses and it basically becomes part of Sam and gets entrained into this whole system. And I don't see anything else out here on the GFS to mention. We get into the CMC And a similar scenario setting up. There's Sam for your Friday and Victor. There's that trough along the East Coast, high pressures. And then we get into the middle part of the weekend, bringing Sam just east of Bermuda, very similar to the GFS. And there's that trough kicking in along the U.S. East Coast into Canada, helping steer Sam more towards the north and eventually the east. There's Victor spinning out here, trying to find a way north here, and eventually does so as high pressure retreats, just like on the GFS. The CMC's really kicking the trough here to the northeast, and then we get off towards Tuesday and Wednesday. Look at this. We see Sam a little bit retrograding back here, as there's some blocking going on up here, but it's not enough to bring it into eastern Canada. So there will be some impacts, and there's Victor being spun up here into what's left of extratropical Sam. And we get into the Euro. Take a look at this. We head on into your Friday and Saturday. Bring Sam just east of Bermuda. There's that trough. Not as pronounced on the Euro, but it is there. There's the high pressure blocking to the east. There's Victor. And we spin this into motion for your Monday. Trough kicking Sam out to the northeast here, keeping it away from the eastern North American area. Victor being drawn up just like on the other two models. Sam going big extratropical. High pressure really retreating at this point. And then, of course, Victor kind of gets absorbed, kind of pushes it a little bit further west here. Something we'll have to watch on the Euro. It's a bit different than the GFS and the CMC. All right, going to briefly touch here on temperature anomalies across North America. We'll take a look at departure from average, the anomalies. We bring this into motion with the GFS. We're going to basically focus on highs, not the lows, because there's a lot of variability in lows and a lot of mesoscale features in lows. But here we go, really quite a big warm anomaly here across central part of North America. A little bit of a cold pool this weekend in places like the northeast into the northwest, and of course with the storm system here across the southern plains. Put this into motion for your Sunday. Look at this, really warming up. I only see areas out here in the Pacific Northwest and parts of Florida and a little bit of eastern Texas and parts of northern New England below average. Really well above average here heading on into next week. Look at this. We head on into Wednesday for your highs. Only cool across the southeast because we'll be having that frontal boundary move through with showers. And then, of course, out in the desert southwest here, too, getting a little bit colder than average. And then we stretch into later next week where we get really warm here and we get a cold pool. Really things breaking down here. So not really looking like a negative NAO so far in the east. Even though it will be. And we head with the CMC, very similar pattern here. We head on into later Sunday. We had really warm here across the east, a little bit cooler here around the edges, just like on the GFS. We head on into later Monday, really warming up here across much of the country, only around the edges once again. And then, of course, we head on into your Wednesday, just really getting warm, especially in the northern plains and south central Canada here. And then do we see that cooling start to happen out west here? Yeah, it starts to break down here and then really getting warm out here in the plains. And take a look at the precipitation map the next 5 to 6 days here. It is across Texas, the southern plains, eventually stretching up into the northeast early next week. But for right now, across the area, the rest of the week into the weekend, it will be across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, really the lion's share of the heavy rain. Anywhere from 1 to as much as 3 inches of rain likely, maybe locally higher amounts to 4 in some areas, 4+. And then across the Pacific Northwest, we'll see a little bit as well. And here we're taking a look at the upper air pattern here for North America. We have that ridge out west, just off the coast here, pushing the storm systems across the Pacific Northwest, and those are leading to a trough in the northern plains and Rockies, and then a little bit of a ridge here in the Mississippi River Valley and Ohio River Valley, and another trough off the northeast coast. That is what's going to help kick Sam eventually completely out of the picture here, so that's good news for the northeast. And your TGIF here across the northeast looks really beautiful. Look at that. From Pittsburgh all the way up to Bangor, Maine, and all points in between. If you look at Binghamton State College, Albany, Concord, Boston, New York City, Atlantic City, D.C., 73. It's the warmest temperature on this map. This is not too bad for this time of year. If you remember previous years, it could be colder. It could be warmer too, but it could be colder too. So this is not bad. This is working out right around your averages here. Not bad. Mid to upper 60s in many areas, near 70. And Friday across the southeast here, we do have a good bit of warm weather really developing here, especially from Atlanta on southwestward here. We're finally getting back into the mid to upper 80s. Panama City, 88 and 90 in Miami. But look at back to the west here. We have that frontal boundary that is going to be the focal point for some strong to severe thunderstorms and flash flooding, particularly in the yellow zone there from Dallas-Fort Worth on southward to San Antonio. In the Austin area, we could be looking at the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms and flash flooding occurring. And here we go for your Saturday. Another beautiful, stellar day across the Northeast. Now, you see that green shading there in northern upstate New York, northern Vermont, and northwestern Pennsylvania into southern Ontario. We do have the chance of a late day shower across these areas, 20% beyond 4 p.m., but for the most part, we'll be dry. And look at those temperatures getting right around 70 to 75 degrees from I-81 corridor and New York and Pennsylvania on westward, including New York City and Atlantic City as well. DC up near 80, 76 in Harrisburg, and then back in New England, a little bit cooler, but still really nice. Mid to upper 60s, places like Concord, Boston, Portland, and Bangor, Maine. And Saturday across the southeast. Here we go again. Another nice dry day from Atlanta, Raleigh, Panama City, but here we go back towards Louisiana, the Mississippi River Valley, Texas, especially the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and eastward and northeastward here. Strong to severe thunderstorms. The main threat will be flash flooding. A lot of stalled out frontal boundary across north-central Texas on northward. Brings a lot of moisture here from the Gulf of Mexico. Across Florida, you have that front that'll be moving through, but you'll just be clipping the tail end of it there. Only a stray shower or thunderstorm in South Florida. And here we go for Sunday across the Northeast. Not looking too bad here. We have a stalled out stationary front stretching across southern Ontario, New York State, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. And this will be, once again, the focal point for showers and thunderstorms developing. So you knew half your weekend was going to entail some sort of showers or thunderstorms. In this case, most places from I-81 eastward will only have about a 20 to 30% chance in the afternoon, but there's the darker shading green. Places like State College, Buffalo, Erie, Pittsburgh, even Pittsburgh getting in on the potential for a strong to severe thunderstorm with the damaging wind gust being the main threat. But in these areas, we have a greater risk of showers and thunderstorms beyond 70% likely. And here we go for the Sunday. It's the same as in the Northeast. Look at this, the front, that stationary front slowly moving to the east, and with it, showers and thunderstorms likely. Places like Nashville, Birmingham, Atlanta, Raleigh, New Orleans, and Houston once again there. South Florida continuing with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. The only places that appear to be dry are places like Panama City, Tampa, and Charleston. Getting nice warm, mid to upper 80s, and near 90 degrees. Places in that darker shading green could see upwards of 1, 2, maybe as much as 3 inches of rain possibly. And here we go for your Monday across the Northeast. Always have a case of the Mondays when this occurs, and you will be feeling it a little bit because we'll have some showers and potential of maybe a rumble of thunder south of that stationary front during the afternoon hours, especially on Monday. Temperatures will be cooling down slightly as well. Many areas will be in the upper 60s, places like Binghamton, State College, Albany, even Scranton, and Boston and Erie as well. A little bit cooler to the north of that as well, and then DC, Atlantic City areas will be up near 80 degrees. And for your Monday across the southeast, another case of the Mondays, along with this cold front that will be pushing through Houston and west of New Orleans and west of Nashville. Showers and thunderstorms likely, places like Atlanta, Nashville, Raleigh, Norfolk, and then look at that across the Appalachians up towards western North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee. Lots of showers and thunderstorms likely, 1 to 2 inches of rain possible here. Along the Gulf Coast, more of a straight isolated shower thunderstorm event. Only about a 40% chance, maybe a half an inch or less. Locally higher amounts possible, and then in the proverbial shower or thunderstorm in South Florida potential continues as high pressure spins off the coastline here and slowly retreats. And here we go, my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna region of upstate New York into northeast Pennsylvania. Look at this, Friday all the way through Tuesday. Friday and Saturday are the two best days. Look at that, 64 and 71 respectively here. Lows in the upper 30s. So it's a cold start, especially in those normally colder valleys. Still not enough for frost to kill off all the ragweed and whatnot. So you allergy sufferers like me will continue to suffer. However, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we get into some rain as a frontal boundary stalls across the area. 30 to 40% chance each day, with only up to 1/10 of an inch, mainly between the hours of 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. So not an all-day washout, but you see temperatures will be held down a little bit here, 69, 67, and 66 by Tuesday, but it will bump the overnight lows into the lower 50s. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern and Hurricane Eastern. And don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell button so you're alerted when I come out with one of these videos. Question or comment down below. I am working on a winter weather 2021-22 outlook. And always on my Facebook pages, give them some love. Go over there and like them. Media Mark on Facebook. Also Weather Northeastern on Facebook. And Hurricane Northeastern. And also it's Twitter at Weather Eastern.